Today we're starting a new StealthWatch batch. Okay, so we'll see what's a StealthWatch device and what's a requirement in our network. And this is a new product which has been introduced in a version 6. It wasn't earlier in any versions. Okay, so in version 6 they have included a new device that's your StealthWatch. The StealthWatch wasn't originally a product of Cisco. It was a LAN 1 company, and later Cisco acquired a LAN 1 company, and now it's a part of a Cisco. All the copyrights, all the devices are now the part of Cisco of the StealthWatch. Do you guys have any idea, or have you done any research before joining this module? Like, what is a StealthWatch? Any idea, guys? What is a StealthWatch? According to examination perspective, StealthWatch is important. It's in your lab examination. Okay. Have you guys heard about SIEM device? If you have heard about SIEM device, tell me what's a SIEM device. Tell me. Splunk is a SIEM device. I'm asking what is SIEM? SIEM is Security Event Manager,
event management,
Security
right?
Information and
It
Event
collects log from different devices, the network, and parse it and give you the events when anyone trying to look out exactly what happened at the timestamp.
Exactly. The same thing does a StealthWatch in a network. So a StealthWatch, you can say, is a kind of a SIEM device from a Cisco. And recently you might have heard about the news. Cisco has also approached for a Splunk to make it a part of Cisco itself. Deal was finalized, I guess it was around $20 million, something like that. After that, it was done or not, I don't know. Okay, but there was a news about it. Even Cisco, even Splunk to make a part of Cisco. So to collect all these network devices information, we need a SIEM device. So StealthWatch is also a kind of SIEM device. Okay, it will collect all your network device. It's a kind of a telemetry device. Telemetry device means what? We collect all the network logs, events, informations, and we analyze it. For that, we need a SIEM device. Okay, so first of all, we'll see introduction, then we'll see harnessing network telemetry, we'll see understanding data collection, working with data, analyzing, all those stuff we are going to see. So telemetry network means what? In a simple term, any process that collects a data from multiple other devices is called telemetry. So in our network, how many types of devices we can have? Multiple types. So you can see we have endpoint agents, we have a switches, we have a distribution switches, network layer switches, core switches, firewalls, proxy, identity devices, AD, DNS, TELUS, multiple devices and the functions that are basically connected in our network. So to collect all the logs from all these network devices, what we need a SIEM device. And the method of collecting all these network devices information, such as logs, events, we call it as a telemetry method, network telemetry method. Okay, you can see why do we need this SIEM device? For what purpose? Now we need this SIEM device to know every host information, to see every conversations like, it's not about what a data you are communicating. It could be which hosts are connecting to a network, who is living in a net, means who is connecting, who is disconnecting, where the traffic is going from, coming from, all those informations, all those informations I need to watch it. Or else you can also understand in a way, like if you want to track ICMP traffics. So ICMP is also kind of a conversation itself. So ICMP conversation, I want to track it. Could be for tunnels, could be for VPNs, could be for any other stuff, right? Understand what is normal, what is abnormal. Okay, be alerted to change, respond to threats quickly. You want to see what's your network devices, users, admins, data center, branch offices, cloud, roaming users. To track all these informations, what do we need? We need a StealthWatch device. So a StealthWatch device is nothing but it's a kind of a SIEM device, security information and the event management device. Okay, Now, if I talk about the StealthWatch architecture, you can understand in this way. Before understanding the StealthWatch architecture, you understand what are the devices required in the StealthWatch. The major components in the StealthWatch are StealthWatch management console. We call it as a StealthWatch management console, or SMC in short. We have a StealthWatch flow collector. In short, we also call it as a FC. Remember these short names will help you to understand the names or the domain names in your examination. In CCIE security lab examination, these two devices of a StealthWatch they have mentioned. They haven't mentioned all these devices in a lab examination, but yes, they have mentioned these two devices in a lab examination. Now, let me tell you the names. StealthWatch management console, it's a centralized manager. So any devices that I have in a network, these three devices are the StealthWatch devices. So to manage the logs events centrally, I need a manager. How many managers name do you know of a different devices? Can anyone tell me? Any manager, tell me any managers. What manager's name do you know and of which vendor?
So we have like Checkpoint, Smart Console, Panorama, CSM for Cisco. I mean, there are so many.
Correct. So we have a FMC, Panorama, Smart Server.
Yeah,
Likewise, we have a multiple centralized manager for all the vendors. These are for the firewalls. Okay. Likewise, for the StealthWatch products, we have the centralized manager. That's your SMC. And what is a StealthWatch device? What is the StealthWatch device used for?
Uh, it acts as SIM, collects a log from a device.
Correct. It's all about collecting the logs and events and analyzing purpose, right? For your monitoring purpose, all those stuff you can say. Okay. In StealthWatch, total how many devices do we have? We have total 4 devices, and we have the endpoint license connector. So total you can say 5 devices. Okay. Out of that, these are the 4 major components: StealthWatch manager, flow collector, flow sensor, and UDP director. These are the 4 major components of your StealthWatch. Now see here. Now understand the architecture. In this architecture, you can understand I have a flow sensor and I have a director. This flow sensor and director are designed to receive the informations, okay, on what? Flow collector. So in a network, if I have flow sensor and UDP director, these two devices, if I have, it can easily sense or it can easily take the informations of. So what I was talking about, I need 2 different devices in a network to collect all the informations and to send it to a flow collector. So flow collector is basically used to collect the information from your network. The major role of flow collector is to collect the informations from the network. Now, to collect the informations from the network, I need the helper, and the helpers are UDP director and flow sensor. So if I have these 2 devices, it can sense the devices in a network and it can collect the information and send it to a flow collector. But one thing more you can understand, it's not important that I need to have, it's a mandatory to have these 2 devices, then only I can collect the informations to a flow collector. It's not that important. I said it's not that important. It means I can have or I might not have, both the cases. So in what case you should have, in what case you should not have?
So just a question. You
Yeah.
say like which one is the option, sir? Like flow collector is an option that we can have or we cannot have?
No. UDP director and flow
Okay.
sensor is an optional.
Okay. Okay.
These two are optional. These two are mandatory.
Okay. Makes sense.
Manager and flow collector are mandatory. Flow sensor and UDP director are optional. Now, if I have a big network, big network infrastructure, wherein I need to collect the informations in an automated way. I don't have to put much efforts, much configurations on the network devices. Then definitely I will need a flow sensor and UDP director. Flow sensor's task is to receive the informations from the network devices like firewall, router, switches, right? ESXi servers, all those, all the virtualized machines and all. It can easily sense the information and collect the information and send it to a flow collector. Okay. So what I was talking about, if I have a flow sensor in my network, then I don't need to manually collect the informations from each and every network devices like router, switches, firewalls, virtualizations, etc. It can sense the information with minimum configuration that we have to do on these network devices, and it can collect all the informations and send it to a flow collector. There is no way to skip a flow collector. They has to send the informations to a flow collector. Okay. So you can say flow collector is most important device in a network. After that, we have a UDP director. UDP director's responsibility is different. The UDP director's responsibility will be like the flow, net flow servers, syslog servers, SNMP servers, informations to collect and to send it to a flow collector. Flow sensor is not responsible for collecting the informations of these servers. You guys are aware of flow collector, syslog, and SNMP, right? Are you
Yes.
aware of it? Yes or no?
Yeah, these are the devices which actually collect the logs from the device.
Correct the
Only we
logs.
generate the logs. Yeah.
Yeah, before you were not knowing about the StealthWatch, you guys might be knowing about these technologies which were used to collect the network informations. NetFlow is also a protocol. You can say you have a different versions, okay, like version 5, version 9, version 10 we have, right? Syslog also a protocol, or the you can say syslog is UDP based. SNMP, again, it is used for communication or for collecting the network informations, right? So all these three methods were earlier used, but now to simplify, to make it more comfortable, automated, graphical wise, right? To collect all the informations, what we are going for, we are going for a StealthWatch. Okay. So if I have existing such servers in a network, and if I have to collect the informations from such servers, then you can't send it directly to a flow collector. Okay. You can, but there will be more informations required. Might be these devices are not a Cisco devices. If they are not the Cisco devices, then it's different. It's difficult to directly send the packets to a flow collector. Okay. If I have a Cisco devices, there are configurations that can be done, which can be used to collect the informations. Okay, I can manually configure it. I can manually configure router switches. There are the commands that I can directly send the information to a flow collector. But when it comes to a servers and all, it becomes difficult. You have to take a support of a flow, I mean, like UDP director, and UDP director will help you to collect the informations and send it to a flow collector. Same as a flow sensor. If I have a huge devices, I have hundreds of devices in my network, it's not easy to manually go and configure 50-line statement on each and every network devices. So flow sensor will sense all the network traffics based on whatever subnet you will define. Let's say I want all the informations from 10.11.11.0. Just define the subnets over here. It will collect the informations from such devices. So it makes your task easy, but in return, you have to purchase the license of these many devices. But if you want to make your work done only with these two devices, even that you can do, okay, but limited services. But in that also, many configurations you guys have to do on the network devices. Let's say if I have to go to a router, there might be more than 30 commands that I have to manually configure in a CLI part. Like I need to go with the net flow configuration. in a NetFlow configuration, I need to define multiple parameters. Parameters could be like, if I want to capture ICMP packet, then source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, right? Whatever informations you want to collect from the network, you have to define each and every, statements. Each and every statements in a network devices, you have to define it. Okay. Then only that device will send, let's say on a router, if I want source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, each and every informations to be sent to a flow collector, then everything you have to define under the NetFlow configuration. Okay. So likewise, I'm telling you, like if I don't have a flow sensor, the configuration will increase. Automated kind of a stuff will not be in a network. Manual configuration will be there. Manually, I have to teach every devices and I have to configure that what information has to be sent to a flow collector. Guys, are you getting my point? What is a responsibility of flow sensor and UDP director, flow collector, these three devices? Am I clear?
So, Sushil, UDP director collect the data from the servers, like whatever. Maybe it's a server, like, because every device can be a server if we create them as a configuration. So
Exactly.
yeah, it will collect the data from the directly from the server and then provide it to flow collector. It is not collecting data from the devices like sensors. So for that sensing, we have flow sensor.
Flow sensor, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Now
So
this part,
can we say that like flow sensor is more of connecting with the non-Cisco devices, usual, or like even it connects to Cisco device as well?
no, it can be Cisco, non-Cisco, anything, right? See, VMware is not a part of Cisco, right? It's a non-Cisco device.
Yeah.
So it can be a non-Cisco devices also. Now let's say if the all devices belongs to different subnets, like it belongs to 10 subnet, it belongs to 172 subnet, belongs to different subnets. So on a sensor, I'll tell sense the information of these subnets. So whatever the network informations will keep going on these subnets, it will collect the information and it will send it to a flow collector. It does a kind of a automated task. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. I'll go to a single router, I'll configure each and everything, then only it will collect the information to a flow collector. Not like that. Okay, flow sensor makes your task easy. Okay. But let's say you have a minimum devices like 5-10 devices, right? Why would you purchase a flow sensor, or why would you purchase a UDP director, two additional devices you don't want to purchase, right? You want to have a flow collector, you want to have a flow collector, you want to have the flow management, right? With the minimum devices, when I have a less devices in a network and less budget, then I would go with a manual configuration on a network devices. You can easily manage few devices, but if I tell you to manually manage hundreds of devices, in that case it would be difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. So that particular scenario, we need to have flow sensor in place to connect the logs from different devices. I mean, if there are plenty of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sushil. Like even the flow replicator does the same job as the flow sensor, right? I'm quite like confused between them, because I was under the impression like flow replicator what collects the log from the devices. But so
see, technically, if you understand, the flow collector is a main device who collects your information, right? And then it analyzes through a flow management server. So manager is, if I don't have a manager also, I can work with a flow collector. Okay. So you can understand the flow collector is a main engine who does an analysis of your network packets or the events. Okay. Now, how do I send the packet to a flow collector? That's a responsibility of flow sensor. Okay. Now I need an automated type of a network environment wherein it will collect the information and send it to a flow collector to analyze it. If I do a same task what the flow sensor does, then what's the difference? Okay. I can't have many responsibilities at a time, isn't it? Like flow collectors main thing is to analyze the packet and to give you information what is going on in a network. Flow sensor information is to collect the informations from the network devices and send it to a flow collector. Okay. Now what I told earlier is, if I don't have a flow sensor, let's say if I don't have a flow sensor, I have a router here. On a router, what I'll do? On a router, I'll make it work like a flow sensor. Router, I'll make it like a flow sensor. Only for routing. I'm like, only for this router, it will act like a flow sensor. In the sense, here I'll configure commands. I'll configure all those commands that is required to send the information to a flow collector. Even I'll tell this router who is a flow collector, what's an IP, what is the port number to send the information to a flow collector. Flow collector is not acting like a flow sensor, or flow sensor is not acting like a flow collector. What we do, flow sensor's task is to collect the information and send it to a flow collector. Or else, if I don't have the flow sensor, then I can manually configure the devices to send the information to a flow collector.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah. I'll show you a piece of commands that are required. Like in a real lab examination, very soon you guys are going to come across it while doing the lab examination preparation. Okay. In an examination, they have given you only two devices, flow collector and flow manager. We don't have flow sensor or UDP director. So here can you see on R9 device, how many informations are we going to configure? We have a flow record. In this flow record, we are defining match IPv4 protocol, match source address, destination address, source port, destination port, input. See, each and every information that you want to collect from that device has to be specified manually under the flow record. This is a configuration. Now, that's not only end. See, coming here, then you have to configure exporter. Once exporter configured, then monitor, and monitor has to be applied to an interface. These many configurations you have to do manually on a network device. Now,
this is if there is no flow sensor, correct, sir?
There is no flow sensor. This is manual configuration for the network devices like routers, switches, firewalls to send the information directly to a flow collector. So you can sense it like how easy your flow sensor makes in a like in collecting a data and sending to a flow collector. If I don't have, then I need to do such type of manual configurations. But you also need to think about your budget, about your number of network devices in a network. If I have a minimum network devices, and for one time, if I have to configure all these configurations, that would be fine, right? Less devices to manage and one time to configure all these things. See, the other major difference between the flow sensor and not having a flow sensor, you can tell. Flow sensor automatically gives you information about all these things, what is there in a network device or in a configuration, whatever you are manually configuring. Give me this information, give me this information. In a flow sensor, you don't have to do those things.
Sushil, is that running over any particular protocol, or it's based on NetFlow only, or it have its own protocol to run for collecting this information?
It has different protocols that can be used. Okay. For syslog, it will use syslog UDP port number 514. SNMP, it will use UDP port number 161. For NetFlow, it will use 2055, but other values also can be manually given like this. So in an examination, they are only asking about NetFlow. So for NetFlow, what port number we need to use? 2055. So a device is capable for understanding all these protocols and the port numbers to collect the information. Is that clear, Saurabh?
Yes, because that port should also be enabled on firewall to collecting data if we have firewall between.
So, now let's say if I have a syslog server in my network and that syslog server works with UDP port number 514, and if my UDP director is not capable for understanding UDP port number 514, will it collect the information?
No.
No. If your flow sensor or your flow collector is not aware of these protocols, they won't be able to collect the information. So they are aware of these protocols. They works on these particular protocols and the partners to collect the information. So you guys don't have to explore much for StealthWatch. Okay. What we can do is, first of all, we'll try to understand the minimum requirements. Okay, we'll try to understand the deployment part. We'll try to understand a few more theoretical parts, I'll tell you. Okay, after that we'll understand the flow collector. I'm like net flow protocol properly. We'll do a manual configuration of a net flow without any StealthWatch devices. Generally I show that in a SNRNS class. Okay, security over routing and switching class. Here also I'll show you once, like how individually net flow works in a network, and that's very tough task to configure and to collect the information from the network devices. It's not a automated stuff. Now to replace such type of network collecting informations to automated networking, okay, we are going for the StealthWatch. Okay, and in a StealthWatch, how many major components are there? 4 major components: StealthWatch manager, StealthWatch flow collector, and StealthWatch flow sensor and director. These are the UDP director. These are the 4 major components which are used. So what's a task of your flow sensor? In short, you can say it's a flow exporter. Exports your flow information, payload sample, certificate data, URLs. It collects all the informations and sends to a flow collector. Flow collection profiling. You can see here 240,000 flows per second it can collect. Okay, and StealthWatch manager is used for what? Presentation and integration. So it can integrate up to 25 collectors, and it can have 60, it can have a 6 million flows per second it can display. Okay, so this StealthWatch devices are present in hardware and the software, both hardware and softwares. So you can either go with hardwares or you can go with softwares, anything. But in our examination perspective, we need software only. We don't need the hardwares. Okay, so 2 devices are required according to our examination. I need SMC 6.1 version, and I need a flow collector 6.1 version. Do not go with any other versions. Strong recommendation: do not go with 7.x version, or do not go with 6.2. 6.2 would be fine. Okay, or do not go with 6.3 version. GUI differences will be there, configuration tabs will be different. Okay, see, many things has been sorted on the 7.x version. Sorted in the sense, the things which were lagging in a 6.1 version, 6.2 or 6.3 versions has been fixed in a 7.x version. So whatever issues you will get in 6.1 version will not come in 7.1 version. The things will work smoothly. Like in 6.1 version, to get a GUI access, we have to fix the things in Java. In 7.x, we don't have to do such things. Okay, a GUI part is totally different that we have on a 7.x version and 6.1 version. So very hardly, by paying the amount, I got the images for the 6.1 version. Right now, if you guys go to Cisco's website, even after having a gold partner, you can't download 6.1 version. You can't do it. It's not allowed. You need to have the specific, registered the user of the StealthWatch. Then only you can do anything. It's so hard to get the version 6.1, but somehow we have managed. We got it, and 6.1 is in your examination, and we'll do all the practicals on the 6.1 as well. Any questions, guys?
Even the flow sensor will follow to the same version as this one's. So can you hear me?
Yeah, just a minute. Some students are arguing that why recording not done for CCIE lab examination. The current situation, what Okta network has faced and whatever has been done, okay, that all of you guys are aware of. CBI investigation is already going on. Why should I record the things? I started lab preparation. You should be grateful that for that. Okay, at least I started the preparation, or else I had stopped the preparation also.
Yeah, this is just to confirm, sir. Like what's happening today, right? That's going to be only one session. There is not going to be a concurrent session as such.
For what?
For the lab, preparation, right? That we have, after this one.
Yes.
That's yeah. Only it's happening for today. Meaning like you will cover
Not
everything.
only for today, it will keep on going every week.
Okay.
It's a weekend class. Yeah, tell me, what was your query?
No, I was just asking that you mentioned about the version for the management console and the flow collector, right? So when
Yeah.
it comes to version, even the flow sensor will be in the same version as this one's.
All 4 devices with the same versions, you will get it. But as of now, we need 6.1 version of 2 devices only. That's a flow collector and the flow manager. It
Yeah.
means that we have to do a manual configuration on a network device to send the informations to a flow collector and to manage it through the SMC. That's it.
Okay.
So that's overall a theoretical part, guys. Okay. Practicals will start it from tomorrow. Tomorrow, first of all, we'll understand telemetry method, we'll understand NTP, because in log collecting or any event management, there is a major role of NTP. Without timestamp, it's hard to find out in what time or what zone the event was generated. So time plays a vital role in terms of log informations. So we'll have that and we'll be collecting the informations. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see NTP flow collector manual configurations without any flow collect. I'm like without any StealthWatch devices. Next week onwards, we'll see a deployment of all this flow collector, flow sensor. I'm sorry. You can have all those devices, but currently we'll go only with the SMC and the flow collector and manual configurations. We'll create one situation like a VPN situation where internal traffic, when it is trying to hit for the ICMP, will try to manually collect it. So we'll create such informations. We'll see such situations. Okay. And then we'll try to collect it. Okay. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time.